Okay, I got my coffee in me and never fails to, something else coming out about this tyrannical problem we have. For the last couple months, and I don't know why, but every day I keep thinking about a certain scenario in history. This happened on June 25th, 1876. The Battle of Little Bighorn. Now, I don't know why I keep thinking about it or why it keeps popping into my head, but, when I saw the video come out of Australia, it showed they're trying to come in there and try to take over the Aborigines area, trying to make these people try to give up their lands and give up their traditions and mix in with the rest of the society. And that's not the only reason why I'm thinking about the Battle of Little Bighorn. So I looked it up, just to refresh my memory on it. June 25th, 1876, the Sioux in Sitting Bull found out that the U.S. government wasn't going to come in there because they had found gold in the Black Hills. So that he made sure all the women and children were safe, and 3,000 of their braves went to the field. Now, we can say it's the U.S. government, whatever label we want to put on it. But, now you got the Trilateral Commission, United Nations, NATO. You have all of these roundtable groups working within the world right now that have their hands in every single government in this world. I could go through the secret society list, but everybody already knows what they are. That have the same plan, New World Order. But why do they have this New World Order? Well, instead of calling them the U.S. government now, let's just call them the BLM. Are they the Bureau of Land Management, or are they the British Land Management? Who owns the most land in the world? Queen of England. Now, we don't know this for sure, but there's a lot of evidence that's pointing that the Crown, the Vatican, and these roundtable groups have infiltrated our true, real government. Alright? The constitutional government. The government that was supposed to be simple. It was based off laws, not men. Okay? If we just would have stayed with those principles and not given up our rights for these policies, these little bitty tiny laws that everybody thinks, oh, it's no big deal. It's just minor. Those build up. That's called Fabian socialists. Because a Fabian will take years or months, it don't matter how long, to build a Fabian socialist society. It's when they come in, they do things slowly. They'll take an inch at a time. They've taken our liberties an inch at a time. It doesn't matter whether you are Native American, African American, or from any country. If you find something on your land, be it gold or oil, and it doesn't matter whether you have a legal document that says, I own what's under the ground, I have water rights, whatever rights you think you have, they don't care. We've seen what happened June 25th, 1876. Treaties were broken. 5 years after that, these tribes, the Sioux and the Cheyenne, were displaced off their land and put into reservations. You can call it a FEMA camp, a reservation, you can call it whatever you want to call it. And everybody wants to keep talking about what happened to the Jews. Well, that had already been taking place long before World War II. And they don't care who you are. If you got something they want, they're coming after it. You know, we just get this, Fox News covers it saying 9/11 there's a Saudi Arabia connection and that the FBI knew it. But yet we never heard about it, did we? Now the truth is leaking from the cracks. The man that was brave enough to stand up and say something about this needs to be protected by the people, because they don't see us as part of them. They are these evil people that are doing the things that they are doing. Look at us as scum. Now you guys can sit back and say, yeah, well, we'll just vote them out, or we'll write somebody in, and we'll do this and do that. Well, I could tell you something right now. I see a lot of patriots out there. A lot of us come from the South. And I see all these leftists and Fabian socialists and whatever label you want to put on them, but they're not on our side, calling people like us rednecks and hillbillies and Southerners, and that we're not smart enough to figure things out, that we're stupid. Well, you know what? I see a lot of Southerners, I see a lot of rednecks and tough, brave son of a bitches that live in some of these states in the North. And I think it's about time you come down south. And if they're not going to give us the president that we want, and they're not going to follow that document that is very simple, the only job of the United States government is to protect its people. At the core, that is, they are supposed to provide defense, not tell us what to do, not take our rights 1 inch at a time. Now there's a lot of you out there that want Robert McLeod Jr. and John Anderson for president and vice president. But in the state of Oklahoma and several other states in the United States will not allow write-ins. So as far as I'm concerned, they've taken my right away to write anybody in. $3,000 of our people died on September 11, 2001. And the people that were supposed to provide that protection to us stood down. They stood down in Benghazi and watched 4 Americans fight for their life and die. Now, I think of the story of Tennessee after World War II. I can't exactly remember what town in Tennessee, but those men came home after fighting a dictator, come to find they had one in their own town and couldn't get a real, true vote. But they went and took the ballot boxes and they said, it's going to be a true vote. And by God, we're going to have it done right. Now, people can get mad at me all you want to because I keep talking about this voting ain't going to work. It's not going to work because we don't have a secure foundation. I think it's about time we make our own. All these other liberal people who think the people of the South are stupid, who talk crap about us every day, that think it's okay to kill 7-month-old babies. Tell us that we can't fly our American flag. Well, you know what? If they want that kind of life, they can have it. But they're not going to cross that line and tell us that we can't do what we want to do. I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in the global village. I don't want a new world order. I don't want to euthanize Granny to hire 10 teachers. I don't want to have to sit there and watch 23 schools being shut down so that my state can come in and build a $400 million prison. Just because they want to make a buck. And then turn around and give money, taking our money and giving it to people who burn our flag and kill women and children, hanging them off a bridge, doing whatever crazy shit that they're doing. I don't want that. I don't want that. What monster would be control of that? It's time that we stand up and say, this is what we want for us. And we're going to get it one way or another because we're the people. We're done listening to you. In the Declaration of Independence, it says, when we fall under absolute despotism, and we keep seeing the same things happening over and over again, and we protest it and nothing is done, then it is the right of the people to institute new government. Now, I might sound like a radical. The things I'm saying might sound crazy, but if you want those true principles and you want those true freedoms and you want that Constitution, going to them people and begging for it, you're never going to get it because they're psychotic. These people don't care what we want. All right? They've lied to us so many times. They've done so many things to us. They've taken our wealth. They've shipped all our jobs overseas. They're shutting down Walmarts all over this nation on the same day, claiming that it's plumbing problems, putting people out of work, breaking our fundamental laws, leaving our borders wide open. They mistreat our veterans, and we pay for it. We need to ask ourselves, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results insanity? Or are we going to stand together as Americans and say, we're the boss. You don't do the job that you're supposed to do, you're fired, or you will not be paid. It's not about not believing that these two men couldn't run this country. That's not what the problem is. The problem is putting them into a system that has no solid foundation. And you got all these outside groups with their tentacles in everything in our government. You got the media, even the local media, flat out lying to the people. This is a conversation that we need to have.